About 17 months ago, I did some tomato slices that I put in bags and then kind of blew up like a balloon. Somebody asked me the other day if I could follow up on that and see how they're doing after more than a year. I was so surprised that it had been 17 months. I would have guessed 7 months or something. It's been a long time since we visited those. So we're going to get a bag. They're on my data sheet. They show that they're at 17 front is a couple of bags, and then in bin 10 at the back there's a bunch more. So we're going to get a bag out of here, and I have 2 bags in here. One bag is without salt and one bag is with salt. I'm going to go ahead and get this one. It's the one that's puffed up the biggest. If you remember, I blew them up like a balloon, and then of course they shrunk by 20% to account for the oxygen being absorbed. And we'll get that out and give that a try and make a BLT out of that. Let's go check those out. Well, it's been 17 months now since I did these, and that's a good idea to check them out and have another little BLT out of these and see how they're doing. These are the ones, and I can link the original video here somewhere. These are the ones that I puffed up the bag with air because I didn't have nitrogen. It would have been better to use nitrogen, but the oxygen absorber I had in here was still going to take care of the extra oxygen that was in this bag, because it would do like 3 times this much. So I wasn't worried about that part. So let's go ahead and open this bag, and I'm going to open it way up at the top, right below the seal. And again, if you've watched mine, you know that I seal them very high up on the bag, so I can cut off that seal, and then I could reseal it if I didn't want to use all of these. So let's check these out and see how they are. Because these are the ones, oh, these aren't the ones I was thinking they were. Darn it. I was hoping that these were some of the ones that I had in the other bags inside the bag. But these still worked out great, because I was worried that these might stick together. That's why I put some of them in the little Ziplocs, little sandwich Ziplocs, and then just put them in there. Well, actually, they weren't even Ziplocs. They were like the fold-over bags, the really cheap bags, just to keep them from touching each other. So this is quite a big bag of slices. Oh, how many do we want? So we could just show all of these real quick. Go ahead and take all of these out for a second. And this said about 12-ish slices, because I was kind of counting them when I put them in there, but I don't know if I was counting some of the little end slices. But they look absolutely perfect. So we're going to use a couple of those to make a quick little BLT, and it'll be just bacon, lettuce, and tomato, but without the bread. So I'm just going to use the lettuce as the sandwich portion of it. So these I'll put back in there. And then I either need to reseal this right away, and this oxygen absorber should still be good for this bag because of the amount that it had. It was oversized for this bag originally. So either I need to reseal it right away, or I need to use these right away, because tomato slices like this are pretty fragile. They're going to pull in some moisture right away, and then they'll get soggy. And another viewer asked about rehydrating these. We don't rehydrate these. If you've ever had a frozen tomato and then thawed it gets kind of, I don't know, mushy or mealy. These will also, if we try to rehydrate them. You could spritz them a little bit and make them a little bit like wet or damp on the surface, but we don't even bother with that. It's got great tomato flavor. It's got a slight amount of crunch to it, because again, tomatoes don't have a lot of structure, so there's not a lot of crunch. It's almost like a styrofoam kind of thing. So we just add Miracle Whip to it and make our sandwich out of it. So I've got my lettuce slices, and I already crisped some bacon. When we do our bacon, we put them on these grates and put this in a cookie sheet, and we do rack after rack of them at a time in the oven. So we would have these just covering this, and then we would do 5, 10, maybe even 15 pounds all in one day. And then we put them in Ziplocs with parchment between the layers and put them in the freezer till we're ready to use them. And then we have bacon that's already cooked at all times, because the last thing you want to do is run out of bacon. So this is good peppered bacon. So anyway, we can just assemble this thing, and I don't know what I can tell you about these tomatoes. I mean, I could break them, but it's just a dry tomato. And if you like tomato, you're really going to like these. If you hate tomatoes, you're going to hate these even more than normal, probably, because they have such a good, strong tomato flavor. When we're doing burgers with these, I just like to put a thin layer of Miracle Whip on them. That's kind of it. Obviously, you could put this on bread too, but I don't have the bread that I would use for a BLT. I really wasn't thinking of anything besides this. I need another piece of bacon. Don't go away. I just got those out of the freezer. I'll warm those up real quick and add to it. Because originally when I was thinking of this, I was just going to do a single tomato slice, and I'm ending up with 2. Okay. Oh, that's a nice peppery piece. So I'm going to add just a touch of mustard also. And of course, make it however you want. I'm just recommending that tomato slices, if you like tomato, this is a great way to freeze dry them. Most of the tomato we do is probably as sauce, but I really wanted to be able to have tomato slices if we're out and about camping for long periods of time. Tomatoes can be difficult. They don't keep well, they bruise easily, and they don't travel well. These, with the bag kind of puffed up, travel well. One of the other viewers had a great suggestion on having them travel well, and that's get like a cardboard ring and stack the slices in a cardboard ring inside here. A cardboard ring in there with a stack of tomato slices would protect them extremely well for trips. Anyway, give tomato slices a chance. I think you'll be happy with them. And if you're thinking that they're not going to be any good unless you can rehydrate them, just try 1 or 2 tomatoes. Don't try a whole load. Just try a couple of pieces. I think you'll find they really work well. You can use them in a lot of different ways. You could just kind of cut them up and put them on a salad, or just eat them in a sandwich. So thanks for watching, and thanks for asking about these tomatoes. 17 months ago, and I'd forgot about them, kind of. Wow, that's good that way.